What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another NFL First Look video with your boy. If you're new, what we do here is we've built a lineup together pretty much. We're pretty much just going to focus on the guys that we put into this First Look lineup. It's just a first gut call lineup after, what we were able to see week one. By the way, if you were able to pull a victory out on week one's main slate, props to you. The luck was on your side this weekend because it was a wacky week one. Snap counts were awkward. There were guys who were expected to play who really didn't see the field. There was some weird shit that went down, but it is what it is. Week one's always the tough one because you don't really know how game plans are going to go. All you can do is go off of what teams did last year and kind of a little bit of information you have, but outside of that, week one's always the toughest one. But now that we have week one out of the way, by the way, greenlightdfs.com, we took the L on the main slate, but we smashed the college, we smashed all the showdown slates, and it was an overall amazing week one. Both showdowns were damn near takedown range. It was a solid week one for us. We won, like I said, we won everything except for the main slate NFL that ended up just being awkward. We lost Mostert. My main thing that I pride myself on is staying locked in all the way until the game start, picking up on information and taking advantage of it. With the backup Trey Sermon being out for San Francisco, Mostert, however I say his name, Mostert, was getting a huge bump with Trey Sermon out. Okay, Trey Sermon was expected to split carries in the San Francisco backfield. Now that he was out, Mostert or whatever his name is, was supposed to get the bulk of the carries. Of course, I went ahead and switched to him. He was too cheap, and as you saw with Eli Mitchell, he went out there and smashed, and even the two rushes that Mostert got, whatever his name is, he was solid in those. So they were gashing them. It should have been an amazing spot. It was the right play, just turned out to not work out due to injury. But it is what it is. We'll take that. All the showdowns were amazing, man. We smashed everything else, so it was a solid week one. Week two, we're going to go ahead and sweep it all this time. All right, let's go ahead and get into this first look lineup. Greenlightdfs.com to join the squad. Like I said, you get so much with the package for Greenlight DFS. All right, college, all the showdowns, college football, Sunday main slate, and then all the way through Monday showdown. All right, so you get Thursday showdown through Monday showdown, all that stuff. All right, so let's get into it. There is a spot that immediately caught my eye and I have interest in because there's just a lot of targets to go around here in this game. And the game that I'm talking about is the Chargers game versus Dallas. Both teams just looked phenomenal. All right, they both look solid. Justin Herbert, his offensive line is solid. He's getting some time to throw the ball. He's got amazing weapons. Mike Williams came out and balled. Keenan Allen, as always, had a bunch of targets. Jared Cook, the new tight end for the Chargers, had some good targets. Like, it's just, this team is going to be solid. Dallas's secondary didn't do much to fix things. They're okay. That new linebacker they have, Parsons, it looks like he's going to be solid. But outside of that, I mean, it's just, they've got some decent options on the Dallas defense. That Parsons dude, and then the cornerback that they added on. I can't remember his name at this moment, but he's decent as well. But the Chargers are in a fantastic spot here. This is a game I'm definitely looking to target, and I'm going to start my first look lineup off with Justin Herbert at 6'7". Justin Herbert at 6'7", going against this Dallas defense. Like I said, Justin Herbert threw 47 times. Okay, they're throwing the ball. It's an amazing spot. Brady got over 30 Draftkings points against them. Justin Herbert isn't Brady, but we know the situation is great. He's at home in Los Angeles. He's got some amazing targets, which is another big reason why I like Herbert because, let's take a look at other options, right? If we go Russell Wilson, you're going to have to pay up for Lockett and Metcalf a good bit of money. All right, you're going to have to pay a good bit of money, which I like Wilson, don't get me wrong, but you're going to have to pay a good bit of money for Lockett or Metcalf, okay? And at the same time, you never really know which one of those guys is going to have the huge game. As we saw last year, a lot of times Lockett would go off and then Metcalf will go off, or Lockett will go off a couple games in a row and then Metcalf will go off a couple games. It's hard to determine which of those guys will go off. So it's really hard to stack them unless you're just going to stack the entire team. But so pricing wise, it's tough with Russell Wilson when it comes to my first look. Other options, you have Tom Brady against Atlanta. I'm not necessarily sure if Atlanta's going to be able to keep this close. I worry about it. My team did not look good at all against Philly. The offense just could not get things going at all. I was excited about it with Kyle Pitts, Ridley. I'm a fan of Mike Davis. I thought we were going to be able to do things, and maybe we're able to get it going a little bit. I mean, we saw that Tampa Bay defense got carved up by Dallas. So maybe they can do something. But with this game being in Tampa Bay, I worry this game being a big blowout. But Tom Brady's interesting. Outside of that, Jalen Hurts. I mean, he's got Devontae Smith, Jalen Rieger. Those are decent pairings with him, but he doesn't have, like, when you go through all of the options, right? When it comes to pricing and options that you have, the guy that stuck out to me is Herbert because he's got multiple options that you can pair with him that are solid options. And with that being said, the GPP takedown lines on most occasions are 3 from one team and then 2 on the run back. So, with that being said, the tight end that I really love is Jared Cook paired up with Justin Herbert. Jaron Cook got 8 targets, 5 catches for 56 receiving yards. That 8 targets is a bright spot to see. On top of that, Rob Gronkowski carved Dallas up for over 29. I mean, this is an amazing spot for Jared Cook. He's only 3.9, so you're getting a good price for him as well. And that's another reason why I like Herbert is because I'm a fan of Jared Cook this week, and he's a cheap pairing with the quarterback, and it kind of just helps the flow of this lineup go together. And everything just kind of clicked with all the spots that I like taking advantage of it this week and guys that I'm interested in. Kind of clicks with this stack. Next up, you can't do a Charger stack unless you have Keenan Allen. All right. Plain and simple, you got to do Keenan Allen. He's going to be once again one of the highest targeted receivers in all of the NFL this year. Plain and simple, Keenan Allen is an absolute beast. 13 targets, 9 catches for 100 yards against Washington. This is a great spot here against Dallas. Keenan Allen moves around. He's going to run a lot out of the slot. This is a great spot for Keenan Allen here in this one. And I expect Dallas's offense to be able to move the ball fairly well, which is another reason why I like the Chargers again, is because Dallas's offense looks amazing. They look ridiculous. And then you're taking Michael Gallup out, so that's boost to their other receivers. So you automatically have a boost to some of these Dallas receivers that you already like, and they're still under 7K even though they had elite days. So I love them, so why not stack the Chargers side on the other end? So Herbert, Keenan Allen, and Jared Cook, some high targeted guys on that to start out with my 3 Charger stack. And then, of course, I'm running it back with CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. All right, this is a part that I really love about this lineup because, man, there's so much, especially for PPR. These guys are so heavily targeted. Our core of guys in this first look lineup are so heavily targeted that it just feels so amazing. CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper. Let's get into talking about these dudes. CeeDee Lamb, 15 targets, 7 catches for 104 yards and a touchdown against Tampa Bay. I mean, what can I say? This kid looked amazing. He's got amazing hands. He's amazing at route running. I mean, I'm not surprised with him being, brought up and taught by Amari Cooper once he got to the league. Of course, his route running is going to be elite. Amari Cooper, he showed that. 16 targets, 13 catches, 139 yards, and 2 touchdowns. My goodness. Like, these dudes are 2 of the highest targeted receivers in all of the league week 1. These are amazing options. These are elite PPR receivers. And then you take Michael Gallup off the field once again. They are getting even more of a bump here. So CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper are the 2 guys I like to run back on the Dallas side of Herbert, Keenan Allen, and Jared Cook. So that's a core. I love the Charger-Dallas game, as you can see. And I really like this spot. Like I said, CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, the amount of targets they got and the amount of usage they're getting in this offense, they should both be over 7K. But the fact they're not is a great spot to run back this Charger squad. All right? Next up, we have some value. We'll get to running back right after this. Jerry Jeudy is going to miss some weeks. So, with that being said, Tim Patrick, the red zone touchdown threat at all times, is a guy that I'm really interested in. Like I said, he's got a very good presence in the red zone for Tim Patrick. He's going against Jacksonville, not a great defense. Tim Patrick is going to get a bump in targets with Jerry Jeudy being out. Expect a good bit of targets to go Tim Patrick's way. I really like this spot here at 4.6. Like I said, it's just an injury bump, and a lot of times taking advantage of these spots where they're missing guys is a big deal. And Jerry Jeudy missing is going to be a solid little bump to Tim Patrick and KJ Hamler on the Denver end. So Teddy Bridgewater is a serviceable quarterback. He looked decent. So Tim Patrick, with him being a red zone threat, I really like him as well. as a value play on this slate. I had Keenan Allen in my build and Tim Patrick at wide receiver, but I guess it doesn't really matter. At running back, I'm going to go. I talked about the San Francisco running back that took away from our Mozart play. Eli Mitchell looked amazing. All right, plain and simple. And he got fed the ball. The most important part, he got 19 carries for 104 rushing yards and a touchdown. Can you see why I liked Mozart right now? Can you see why? I expected them to run the ball a good bit. Trey Sermon out. This right here should have been Mozart's carry amount. Like, he should have got around this 19 carry limit, and Mozart would have honestly got more than Elijah Mitchell in my opinion. So Elijah Mitchell in this spot against Philly. Mike Davis didn't do much against this Philly defense, but at the end of the day, you have Mozart out, so even more carries to go. Elijah Mitchell got 19 carries. Once again, a bright spot. This is a solid spot here for Eli Mitchell. I know Philly's defensive line is decent, pretty solid, but like I said, this dude's going to get a ton of run here. It's plain and simple, just a volume play at a cheap price at 5K. Missing Mozart is a great spot, all right? Next up, a running back that really impressed me week 1 is David Montgomery. David Montgomery looked solid. Every time he touched the ball, he just looked crisp, man. He was doing really, really well with the opportunities he was given on an offense that's just not too good. He made the most out of a situation where there's just not a ton in this offense outside of Allen Robinson. It's David Montgomery and him going against a Cincinnati squad that hit, like, for the last couple years has been bottom in the league versus the run. Dalvin Cook got held fairly in check here with 21, but that's mainly because, you know, this game was kind of not in the game script for Dalvin Cook as much. Minnesota fell behind early, I believe. So David Montgomery in this spot against Cincinnati should be able to carve them up. Once again, he's a guy, he got 16 carries, a touchdown, 108 rushing yards. Like I said, on 16 carries, he got 108 rushing yards. He was carving them up. He looked really, really good, and that's against the Rams' defensive front. Okay, so the fact that he was able to do that much against the Rams, that's what I'm saying. He just looked very overall solid, and I'm excited to see what he does against Cincinnati at 6-1. So Herbert, Eli Mitchell with no Mozart, David Montgomery just looked solid, and at the end of the day, Allen Robinson and him are the only offensive threats on that offense in a good matchup against Cincinnati. Keenan Allen paired up with Justin Herbert. I mean, this duo, I mean, Keenan Allen's going to be one of the highest targeted receivers in the league, if not the highest by the end of the year. Keenan Allen's a fantastic option always in PPR. Run that back with the PPR monsters of CeeDee Lamb and Amari Cooper, especially with Michael Gallup out now. And then Jared Cook also paired with Herbert, so that gives us Herbert, Allen, and Jared Cook running it back with Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and then a defense at 3-5. I am not a believer. I'm going to say this, all right? And Tyrod Taylor looked good, man. Okay, and at the end of the day, this is a first look, and after some time studying, maybe I'll change it. Most likely, I probably will. Most of the time, I don't spend 35 on a defense, but I landed here, and it is what it is. The Browns' defense at 3-5. Now, the Browns' defense is elite, okay? They gave it up to Kansas City, but that's because that's Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. I mean, nobody can stop them. It doesn't matter how good your defense is. This Browns' defensive line is a legit. Okay, this defense in general is very solid. On top of that, they are going back home to Cleveland in this game. All right, they are in Cleveland in this game. They were in Kansas City. Now they're traveling back home to Cleveland, going against a Houston squad that at the end of the day, they looked solid week 1. They did look solid. I have to give them that. But I don't quite have faith that they're going to be solid, okay? I honestly don't see how against how they're going to keep that momentum up, okay? I just don't. Now, at the end of the day, I'll look into it more and I'll go through it. But like I said, I landed on it. Houston is not a great offense in my opinion. I mean, I know week 1 looked like they might be solid, but they're not a great offense in my opinion. And the Browns being at home, I think they should be able to get their offense going as well and force Houston to maybe try to play catch up and make some mistakes too. So I love this first look lineup, man. We got, especially for DraftKings full point PPR, man, this is a fantastic spot. Justin Herbert, Eli Mitchell, David Montgomery, Keenan Allen, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Jared Cook, Tim Patrick with no Jerry Jeudy in the Browns defense. As always, as I said, this is a first look lineup, y'all. So we're just pretty much talking about the guys in the lineup. At the end of the week on Thursday morning or Wednesday night, I'm gonna put out um, a showdown slate video, and then on Friday I'm going to do a full slate breakdown where we go position by position and talk about everybody we're interested in. And then let's go ahead and smash week 2 once again. All right, so week 1 was great outside of the main slate due to injury, but everything else, showdowns, college football, everything was destroyed. So if you grab the package at Greenlight DFS, take advantage of everything you get. You get college showdowns, everything, and we have historically destroyed showdowns. So this week, we're going to add the main slate to it and just have a huge, amazing week. MLB, take advantage that not as many people are playing MLB right now. We have been destroying, having a huge year at baseball this year. So hit up that as well. Play some baseball with us while we're not having NFL games. So today's Tuesday slate is going to be fun. And then let's get this money. All right? GreenlightDFS.com. Join the squad. Thank you guys for joining me as always. Make sure you drop a like down below, and let's get it. I'm out.